Breaking news at 10, an Atlanta gas station blocked off and a woman fighting for her life in the hospital after being shot. This happening just hours ago at the Shell station on Whitehall Street, not too far from downtown. Police say the woman is in critical condition. No word on any suspects or a motive. This is just the latest incident in a series of violence all across the city this weekend. Thank you for joining us. I'm Carly Barnett. Just this morning, 5 people were hurt and the suspected gunman dead in a domestic dispute. Atlanta News First Yasmina Alston is live at Atlanta Police Headquarters tonight. Yasmina, this was one of several scenes that police had to respond to.
Yeah, Carly, that's right. And the house shooting in Northwest Atlanta injured 5 people, including a 3-year-old and a 15-year-old. And since late Friday night, police tell us that at least 4 other people were shot and killed in other incidents in the city. A Northwest Atlanta neighborhood became a crime scene Sunday. A domestic dispute ended in 5 people shot in a home, including a 3-year-old and a 15-year-old. Atlanta police say the suspect, an 18-year-old, then shot himself.
So we're standing here on a sunny morning on a Sunday, where again we see a theme of anger, intimate relationship between individuals, and a gun has led to tragedy.
Atlanta Police Chief Darren Shearbaum says the city has seen multiple domestic violence incidents recently.
But we cannot be present in every living room. We cannot be present in every setting of a home where we need others to be able to intervene to stop violence.
This weekend alone, a violent one, with investigators responding to multiple shootings. A man found dead on Thomasville Boulevard in southeast Atlanta. Another man shot and killed at an apartment complex on Fairburn Road. A woman found shot and killed on Margaret Place in northwest Atlanta. Those only a few of the incidents.
We have seen 2 acquaintances in a fight. One shoots the other and dies. We made an arrest in that case. We have seen an uncle kill a niece over unpaid rent. When a gun is present, we've made an arrest in that. We have seen 2 roommates in a fight, or something occurred where drugs was involved. 2 roommates that went to college together.
And in that first incident, all 5 of those victims did survive the shooting and were taken to hospitals. And the police chief did also add that crime is down in the city of Atlanta. Live in Atlanta, Yasmina Alston, Atlanta News First.
Yasmina, thank you. Tonight.